Have you ever signed up for something, whether it be having your own horse or a dressage competition, a show jumping competition, an endurance ride, whatever, okay? Have you ever signed up for something with the best of intentions only to notice that a couple of days in, it all flies out the window and it just feels like a monumental mission? Yep, it's happened to me too, okay? More than you would know. Today I want to talk about how you can actually begin to overcome that and make progress and do the thing that you actually really do want to do. It's just the bit in the middle, the bit between here and there. Yeah, that's always the dodgy part. Let's talk today about how to get through the bit in the middle. Okay, we'll dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Strides podcast. My name is Lorna Leeson. I'm an equestrian trainer and coach, and I help riders all over the world to do what they say they want to do, show up as a better version of themselves in the saddle for themselves and their horse, especially if they don't have a coach or trainer to help. Okay, so you've got this thing, this big, exciting thing that you want to achieve, okay, like that you want to do. And it doesn't have to be big or exciting, but you know what? If it excites you, it is big and exciting, and you need to go for it. That's really important. So if you've ever signed up for something, put your name down for something, entered something, gotten yourself into a commitment, whatever, okay, and you were excited about it initially, and then you noticed a couple of days in, like 2 or 3 days in, you're like, oh, you know what? This might be more work than I actually thought it was going to be. Hold on now. I didn't fully kind of consider everything that has to go into this to get me from here to there. And your enthusiasm begins to wane a little. Your lack of motivation is becoming very apparent to not only yourself but to everybody around you. And it can feel really disheartening. It can feel a little bit like you're letting yourself down. And you probably are letting yourself down because, again, if you were enthusiastic and excited about it to begin with, it probably means it's something that's for you. It is something that would be good for you and that you know on an intrinsic level that you should be doing, okay? And you know what? I'm not about shoulding on you here, but sometimes we do have to. Well, I have had that recently. I recently began walking every day again, and you're probably thinking, but sure, that's nothing to do with anything. Oh, but it is. You see, I used to walk 12 to 18 kilometers a day, every day, religiously. Like I was a walker. If there was something that I identified with, that was it. And then I had children. And all those hours of walking, wow, those hours just get sucked up doing all the other stuff, hey? And anyway, long story short, I recommitted. I said, this is a load of nonsense. You're just making excuses now. The children are older. You can make a plan. And I set out to go walking again. And I told myself I was going to do it every day. And I'd set myself a couple of goals. And it was great initially, you know, for the first day or two. And it probably wasn't helped by the fact that to get to the house, you have to go up a big hill. And any of the roads around here where I'm living now it's hilly country, hey? It's just hills everywhere. And we're not talking lovely, meandering, gentle inclines. No, these are hills, eh? People train for the Ironman, both running and cycling on these roads, okay? That's how hilly it is. So just to give you kind of some idea of where I am. Anyway, long story short, about 3 days in, I noticed I was feeling tired and I really had a decision to make because what I'd been doing, what I'd kind of told myself I would do, what I committed to was going to be a walk in the morning and a walk in the evenings and the afternoons. So as I didn't have to spend too much time, it was like 2 shorter walks, if that makes sense. And I noticed that about the 3rd or the 4th day, I'm not 100% sure, that morning walk, felt like a real challenge. So what I decided to do was ignore myself, and I literally just put on my runners. I don't know what you call them, the running shoes that you walk in, like your runners. I don't know. I know there's lots of different names. In South Africa they call them tackies. No idea why, but there we go. I call them runners, okay? In Ireland, where I come from, they're called runners. Anyway, and I put on my runners and I just forced myself out the door. I didn't even give myself an opportunity to second guess it. Because I knew where that was going to lead. So I just got myself out the door. And yeah, I'm going to be honest, the first couple of kilometers felt difficult. But when I got back home, I felt amazing. I was like, look, I'd done it. And it almost began to increase my confidence in myself and in my trust of myself, if that makes sense. And I know that sounds a bit strange, but we have all been there where we told ourselves, like in our heads, we said, listen, this is it. I'm doing this, or I'm not doing this. And then you find yourself doing the thing or not doing the thing. And you're like, oh, there you go again. You see, you said you'd do it. But anyway, I just began to take on this approach of just doing it. And I was like, get out the door. Get out for the walk. I don't care if you just go to the gate and back. You are moving. You're getting out and you're doing it. And of course, once you get to the gate, you think, well, I've gone to all this effort now. I may as well go further. And bearing in mind, the gate's a bit away from the house. So yeah, that was kind of my strategy around this. And what I noticed is after the initial, I had the initial high. Okay, so it felt amazing the first day or two. And I was like so gung-ho. And I was like, this is it. I'm doing it again. I am now a walker again. So after that initial high, it really, there was a low, there was a trough. And I was in the thick of it. And for a couple more days, maybe a bit longer than a couple of days, okay? For about another, let's say 4 to 5 days, it felt hard. It felt heavy. It felt not all that enjoyable at all. But I kept just doing it. I was like, that is it. And what I would do is the night before I obviously went to bed, I would plan when I was going to walk the next day. Okay, so I knew it was non-negotiable. That's it. That's what's happening. You've got that amount of time there and you've that amount of time there. And I even set reminders on my phone and that was it. And I was going walking. And then of course I have this little app on my phone and I was tracking all the stuff on the app and it just felt, really, really good. So what I then noticed that began to happen was that after about day 7 or 8, okay, I started feeling really excited about going walking. And to the point where, the planning, which initially I was only doing to make sure I got my backside out the door and got walking, that planning became so much fun. And on days where maybe I couldn't walk as much as I wanted to walk, I began looking for different ways that I could squeeze in a couple more kilometers. And I really began to shuffle things around. Obviously, I still have priorities and I still have commitments and I still have responsibilities. But you know what? Walking is now one of my top priorities again. I can just see the difference. I can see how it's affected me. It feels good. It feels great. Now, why am I telling you that? You're like, Lorna, I came here today to listen about horses and now you're all talking about walking. I think that you could do the same. If you could adopt the same approach with your riding, if you're struggling to make something happen, and whether it is that you lack confidence and you just don't feel confident riding the horse, that's fine. Then don't ride the horse, but make a commitment to get to the yard and to do 10 minutes of groundwork every day. That's it. That's the commitment. It's non-negotiable. Or if every day, maybe your horse lives a bit further away from you and every day is not possible, 3 days a week and learn maybe to lunge or learn actually proper groundwork, not just wandering aimlessly around with the horse. I spoke about this recently, but correct proper techniques, groundwork techniques that's going to build your confidence, build the partnership, build the relationship between you and your horse so that maybe someday, and probably if you stick with it and you stay committed to it, you'll actually be able to ride. You will feel confident mounting up, okay? But if it is that you are not getting done what you want to get done, maybe you've entered the competition, maybe it's coming up in 3 weeks, maybe it's coming up in 4 months, it makes no difference. There's always something that has to happen between here, like now, and there. So then, okay? There's something that you can be doing. And the whole point of the competition, okay, let's say if we're using a competition, you don't have to have entered a competition, by the way, okay? But the whole point of the competition, I really feel, it's almost like a test of who was dedicated, who showed up, Who worked and put in the hours of practice and put in the time and the dedication and the commitment? Who was able to do that? And that's really what you're competing on, okay? Now, look, you can have all the talent in the world, but talent will not trump hard work at the end of the day. And I'm saying hard work, you don't have to be like exhausted and killing yourself doing this, okay? Hard work in that, just that dedication, that grit, that consistency to what it is that you want to achieve. I think we need to have more conversations as riders about what that looks like and how it looks and how we show up. Any of the professional riders or equestrians that I know of, they show up when they are not feeling good, when the weather is absolutely like downright, you've rocks in your head going outside the back door in that sort of weather, okay? When something else happens in life, anything, they still show up like it's their job. Now, obviously, if it's a professional rider, it is their job, but they really, they treat it that way and they then get that results. Now, I don't want you to have to treat horse riding like it's your job, especially if you have negative connotations to jobs, okay? But I do think that making a commitment and then just doing it, like forcing yourself out the door, do it. That can be absolutely a game changer for you in your riding. And I think if we can try and adopt that mindset, I've seen myself, there's always that initial resistance. There's always that, as I said, you'll get this high, it's like, woohoo, this is brilliant. And then you'll get the really, like you're slogging through the mud there, the bit in the middle, okay? And it's not fun. Like it's not all sunshine and roses. It's not a barrel of laughs. Let's be honest, okay? It's horrible being in it. But you have to get through that to get to the point where it is fun. That is the sacrifice. That's the work. That's the payment for getting what you actually want or what you say you want. That is it. And you have to show up and do it. And sometimes it means just absolutely saying, that's it. I don't care. Listen, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm putting on my jodhpurs and I'm getting to the barn, okay? Or I'm putting on my helmet and I'm mounting up, or whatever it is, okay? Now, I do want to obviously say that I am not talking about if you are afraid, if there is something that happened and you have a fear, like a genuine, you have an issue with confidence. Again, I don't think mounting up and just getting over it and just do it is the way forward in that situation. But I do think you can do something. And it may feel uncomfortable to do the something, but it's doing the something that is eventually going to get you what you want, which is that your confidence grows and builds again, and that you'll actually be able to mount up and ride again without being filled with anxiety and worry. And that's just one example again, but I do think it's important to understand the way that I would encourage you to use this. I'm not saying just hack on and I suppose be irresponsible or not apply common sense. I want you to be responsible. I want you to apply common sense. But yes, sometimes the magic is just getting out there and doing it. So if you are finding a day where you're feeling a bit, I think I'd rather just stay at home here now today. Give this one a listen, save it and give it a listen again, and just imagine I'm speaking directly to you now and giving you the good kick up the backside, okay? Getting you going, getting you to the yard, getting you to do the thing. And then, trust me, you will thank yourself afterwards. And again, it builds that trust. It builds that confidence in yourself, in your own word. And that is such a powerful thing. Okay, I am going to leave it here. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you want to join me, I'm going to be walking for 21 days. You can pop over to equestrianfitnesschallenge.com/24. And you can sign up there for the free walking and yoga Equestrian Fitness Challenge. My sister's helping me. She's coming on board. She is a yoga person. She's coming on board. I'm doing the horse in end. She's doing the yoga in end. And we're going to have great crack together for the 21 days. So pop on over there. Get signed up. It's absolutely free. equestrianfitnesschallenge.com/24. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Have a super day. Keep well. And I'll chat to you soon. Be good. Bye.